Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. How we all doing, everybody? I'm sure you've been waiting for me. I know. I have no excuses. Let me pour this Coke in here. Your boy, it's still the same stuff, man. I have been a writing man. This is my latest novella. 17181, first draft, done. 29 pages on Google Drive. This took me quite a bit to do. I just did not turn out to be like as short as I thought it was going to be. It turned into quite the project to undertake, but that's what I've been doing. The first draft is done, and now we get into the editing process, which will probably add words and not take away. But that's not what you guys are here for. You want to know about your boy. You want to know what Rosie1990X thinks about Springtrap. Oh my god. I can't believe we're still talking about this, bro. I half expect these Five Nights at Freddy's flamers to come in here and be commenting all over this video. I get comments to this day. Whoa, looks like you were wrong, bro. I just sent him a link to the video we already made. That's all I say to him. Like, these guys can't wait. They're so bitter. They are so bitter towards me that they come in 5 years later and go, ha ha ha, gotcha. Looks like you lost, Rosie199X. It looks like you lost, bruh. Springtrap is added to Dead by Daylight. I almost feel bad because it feels like it's the only validation these people have in their lives is, oh, Springtrap's here. They did it incorrectly, bro. I will keep saying they did it incorrectly. Freddy Fazbear should have been the killer with everybody as a skin. But I'm not going to harp on that comment too much like I originally planned to when I saw the chapter, because apparently Scott Cawthon had very, very large creative input and very large creative say on what this company got, and he, according to Herman, was trying to, for what that's worth, again, that's not like a real source, I know, it's just my friend in Discord who sends me shit, but basically, I'll tell you what he sent me, bro. I'll find it. Basically, Hens posted this. Okay, that's more reliable. Hens posted this on Twitter. Scott Cawthon set heavy limitations for what's possible and wanted the Five Nights at Freddy's DVD chapter to be lore accurate all around. No, there was no way to extend the map, and there probably never will be animatronic killer skins. Rip Foxy Blight, though. Would have been so cool. What that tells me is that Scott Cawthon made sure this company got as little of his IP as possible to fucking just protect it. He's very protective of his brand, and I respect that as a creator. If you have heard me talk about Scott Cawthon before, I don't know if I have on my actual YouTube channel, but I know in my server a couple years ago, we had this conversation about Scott Cawthon. I have nothing bad to say about Scott Cawthon. Scott Cawthon is a man who seems to have a lot of sense, for one, and he's very protective of his brand, very protective of his IP. I understand that. So, when you are working with Behavior Interactive, who is known for butchering IPs out the fucking ass, it makes sense for you to want to give the company as little as possible. And it doesn't even make sense for him either, because would it actually have even turned a bigger profit than just this by itself? I'm not sure. I'm not sure financially and from a business perspective it even makes sense to give this company the use of Foxy and Freddy Fazbear as like a killer. I'm sure there's like a clause and shit that goes into that. I think they're on the map, but like, it doesn't make sense for them to even do that, because it's not like it's going to make more money than it is without it regardless, right? Just give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. They want Springtrap, you get Springtrap. You get Springtrap, 3 perks, and I'm surprised the fucker even let him have a map. I'm honestly really shocked about that. Am I ever going to play on that map? Probably not, because I'm sure it's going to be a hunk of shit just like all the fucking rest of them. And that is not to say anything about what they are doing, which is they brought in Matthew fucking Lillard, fucking Stu. They brought in fucking Matthew Lillard to do a legendary skin and record voice lines for the killer, which I have to fucking applaud that too. And again, I heard, apparently, according to what I heard, which again, I know, that's not a great source. I know I heard this on Facebook, though. I don't know if Behavior officially posted it or not, but I saw they were posting Matthew Lillard in the booth. But according to what I have heard, the decision to get Matthew Lillard involved was a complete Scott Cawthon idea, proving that the man has a shit ton of sense and knows what the fuck he's doing. Scott Cawthon is a man who appreciates his fans and wants to give them what they want, without giving Behavior as much as they can to butcher the franchise. Which, good for him, bro. And if I, honestly, as a horror person myself, if my brand was at the level of Scott Cawthon's brand, I wouldn't let Behavior touch it with the 10-foot pole. I wouldn't let him touch it with the 10-foot pole. But it's Dead by Daylight. It's basically guaranteed money for any horror IP. They're running out of options, running out of ideas. Clearly, with The Killer, they're running out of ideas. So, just take your check, give him Springtrap, take your shit zillion dollars, go cash it, move on with your life. Good for you, Scott Cawthon. So again, no hate towards Scott Cawthon. I'm not going to bitch about FNAF. As I said earlier in my other video, the integrity of this franchise has been decayed, withered, and destroyed over the course of the time. Not debatable if it ever even had it, but I like to at least think they were trying a while ago. That has gone completely out the window. The game is now a survivor-favored bully simulator. Not that it wasn't before, but like they're not even trying to fix it anymore. It's over. It is complete. Let the survivors run rampant and make all the balanced decisions based off their suggestions, which are huge nerfs for you on the forums. That's what happens now. There is nobody sticking up for you in the room, and it is very clear with how much you get nerfed. It's very, very clear just by reading the patch notes that there is nobody sticking up for you in that room. I have not played Ken since his nerf. I have heard he's still okay and still good, but that's just because he was such a good canvas to work from. I'm sure it quote-unquote raised the skill cap, which is Behavior and Survivor terms for made the Killer a lot weaker and a lot worse. Because I'm sure now Ken's plays are a lot more limited and locked to very specific actions that or like very hard inputs and shit. You can't break a pallet anymore because it takes all your tokens away, which maybe you can get it back in 10 seconds. I don't know. I haven't played Ken since his nerf, and I heard he's still good. But it's just very frustrating to see that Killer in particular, one that maybe come back to the game and actually have fun with the game again. Playing Ken Eki was actually a fun experience, and I quite enjoyed that. It felt like I had enough power to deal with what they were throwing at me. And of course, that means all the babies bitched, and so they got their way. I'm sure Ken can barely hold his own against a top Survivor threats, if he even can at all. Again, I haven't played him. I might play him and think he's shit. I've stalled too long though. Y'all want to see me talk about this shit. I know you want, and the truth is, I don't have much to tell you guys. I don't have much to tell you. And they played it very, very safe with Springtrap. Very, very, very safe. Take established formulas that worked previously and throw them in again. This is something that they seem to like pivot to, especially coming off Kaneki, who is like one of the more original things they've done in a while, and all the survivors hated it. So they kind of leaned in close to the chest. Let's go ahead and go over everything here. And we'll watch true footage here as well. Because again, I haven't watched The Killer. New Killer animatronic. Fred's Bear's Fright power, bro. Ooh, cool. Fire axe. Oh. The animatronic is armed with a fire axe that he can throw at survivors. Huh. An axe that you throw at survivors? Oh, I've heard that one before. I've heard that shit before, bro. An axe that you hurl at survivors. I read that. I said, what? An axe that... What? An axe that you throw at survivors, bro. Unbelievable. Like, if the axe hits a survivor, the weapon becomes embedded in them, leaving the survivor vulnerable. Survivors must remove the axe before they can be healed. So it's just like Huntress with like a broken status effect in here. Because I'm assuming they can't be healed. I'm assuming there's like a broken status effect there, right? Yeah? Or is it like a symbol on them that they have to take out? I'm trying to see his official behavior page. Hold on. Okay, yeah, he's a Huntress clone. Sorry, I stopped the video up. I went offline to do a little more prowling before I came back on. He's a Huntress clone. Yeah. So, he's embedded with the fire axe, leaves an axe, hits survivor, becomes embedded, leaving survivors vulnerable, survivors with axe where they can be healed. So, yeah, I'm assuming that they're broken. He's a Huntress clone, bro. So, here is my immediate question that comes up knowing that fact. Go into his page here, and I verified this on my Discord server before I came back and started filming again, too. Mr. William Afton here, Springtrap, is 115! He's a 115 killer! With a fucking projectile! Axe! Chucks it, throws it, can down you! Apparently can bounce off the walls too, we're not there yet. He's got this axe that can bounce off the walls, down and injure survivors, has a base kit fucking, broken status effect, and, has all these doors he can go through, and the survivors can too. That's the only, downside, I guess, that they can kind of go through them too. But, it's also dependent on battery life. But, my question when I immediately look at this, and again, I must stress, I don't give a shit that he can do that. The game is so power crept. My argument's about to come in a second. But I can't help, when I read this for that first section immediately, I can't help but immediately turn back to this and go, why the fuck is the Huntress still 110? Why is she still 110? Why? Tell me. Why is this killer still 110? Why does her, when she winds up, why is her movement speed 77% and his is 110? Can someone explain that to me with a straight face? Why he gets to be 115 and 110 when charging, and she gets to be 110 base and fucking 77% when she's charging. And his can bounce off the walls. At least with an add-on it can do that. We're not there yet. That is the first thing I immediately think of. I go back, and this is something I've been saying for a while too. 110 killer is outdated garbage. It needs to go. Nobody in this game should ever start at 110 on release. Nobody. I mean it. Nobody should start at... Fucking Nurse, when she came into the game, she was 115. Nobody should start 115. Nobody should start 110. Nobody. They come in the game at 115 like everybody else. Hag should be 115. 110 it should be dead. Hag should be 115. Bitch Boy, when his rework goes in, he should stay 115. Fucking Chucky should be 115. Everybody should be 115 unless your name is the Blight or the Spirit or honestly Count Dracula. Dracula being Spirit's replacement and with the bat and how that killer is being played, that killer should be 110 on everything except the Wolf. The Wolf can stay 115. Main form Dracula should be 110. 110, but again, it didn't start. Again, Dracula's 115 right now, but just with how he's being played and shit, the main form should be 110 because he's being played like Spirit. Nobody should start at 110. Nobody. And certainly, 110 should be deleted and eradicated from this game. If fucking Blight is a 115 killer, no, Blight's 115. Yeah, Blight's still 115, isn't he? Blight is still a 115 killer. Yeah. This killer is a 115 killer. If this guy is still 115, there is no fucking excuse for anybody. Ken was 115. This whole 110 thing has got to go. And not just on, again, this, you might think this is a fucking, diversion of the real conversation, and we're still not talking about Springtrap. This is something I've had a massive problem with for a long time. 115 killer should be fucking standard. 110 has got to go on release. If you think a killer is good enough to where they need a nerf, that's when 110 can show up. And again, in terms of the nerfs, they kept doing it. 115 standard. Hillbilly is still 115. There is no excuse for all the killers that are 110 to be 110, except for the Spirit. And Dracula should be 110. Blight should probably be 110. Like, when you're really looking at it, like, 110 should be used like that. Again, Chucky should be 115. You could, like, 115, bro. Give us the fundamentals, especially if you're going to nerf the shit out of Chucky's power. No excuse for 110 killers to be dropping in 2025. And go in and fix these other ones that have it really bad. Huntress is the most power correct thing I've ever seen in Dead by Daylight. Everybody knows how to deal with her extremely easily. The only reason that she gets a lot of hits is the same reason that this guy's probably going to get a lot of hits with his axes. The latency, the lag. He's going to be lobbing whales at you. Playing against him's going to be super fun because he's going to be lobbing fucking whales just like she is. They're going to go right past your fucking head and it's still going to hit you. Huntress is safe from being a trash character in Dead by Daylight because of latency and broken coding. Facts. Much like this guy will be. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep moving. Map feature, security system. At the start of the trial, 7 security doors are spawned randomly throughout the map. These doors can be accessed by survivors and killer. Each security door has a camera attached to it. Interacting with the door gives the survivor access to the camera view, allowing them to cycle through each camera on the map, travel to the door they are currently looking through, and potentially reveal Springtrap's aura to the team. Using the cameras and doors too often will deplete the limited battery power available, forcing survivors to wait until the system reboots. Killer can travel through doors with or without batteries. Animatronic enters the security door and may choose to exit from any other door on the map. Moving to a door that a survivor is already using will cause the animatronic to grab the survivor, a feature that I'm sure is going to be dredge locker grab levels of worthless. That you're never going to see that animation go off unless they are particularly garbage, is my guess. I've caught maybe 2 people with the dredge in a locker ever. So, yeah. That you're never going to see that animation go off. That reveal to the team, you may think that's bad when you read it. Like the whole, you can be revealed to the team. Swift knows where you are anyway at all times, so that's not too big of a deal. It does it helps solo queue out, and I'm Swift can use the aura reveal, I'm sure, and will, but top percent Swift, they know where you are at all times. They don't even need to use that feature at all. The fact that the most troubling thing that you should be worried about is the fact that survivors can travel to the door they are currently looking through. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like they can travel across the map a little faster, right? That's what unless this is a typo, which I don't think it is. I don't know. Clarify that. That's something you all can clarify in the comments. Again, I exist at this point to give you a killer-favored view of what's going on in this game right now, like a killer perspective of what's happening. That, to me, it reads very clunkily just reading it. So you can clarify how that works in the comments. So that's it. He is a 115 Huntress. I guess he has an add-on that makes his axe bounce off the walls, because they didn't say anything like that, and I've seen clips of it. So maybe that's an add-on, but or maybe it's his angle that's different. I don't know. I've seen some weird plays where his axe, I don't know if it's bouncing off the walls or if it's it just has a weird arc or something. I don't know. Scott Junn thinks the killer's skill ceiling, bro. So I don't know. Again, if that's wrong, clarify that as well. I don't care. Yeah, we'll watch him in a second. And in fact, we're going to do that right now. Again, True Talent's the only one I moderately trust here. So let's see let's just check it out for a little bit. Watching some Yu-Gi-Oh content lately, bro. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh mark. Let's just skip to when he finds, oh, there's something. Okay, so he opens the door and then he gets to use it. And there was somebody okay, that's not in the power description. Somebody runs across camera You can see him at 4 before you even go there. So then he pops out and he knows that they're there. Okay, that looks like it's an animation that he just did. Okay. The map is on Unknown's Realm. More recycled garbage from this company, as you would expect. I don't know why you'd expect anything different, Five Nights at Freddy's fans. You get recycled content just like the rest of us. You're not special. They didn't even take out the goddamn pinball machine from the Unknown's arcade. They just reused assets, bro. It's fucking lazy. Just look at the fucking doors just sitting randomly there. Look so stupid. Look how much they contrast with the background. You could tell it's like a fucking... I guess they do this with everything, but it looks so sloppy to see that like mechanical door just sitting there next to... Like that metal door is on a wooden... is on wooden plank. It looks so bad. Pops out at 7. And again, this is an animation that looks like, again, nothing dredge terrible. He also has a lot of undetectable coming out of that, which I'm assuming is an add-on, or is that... No, that was his perk. Was that his perk? No. He got undetectable when he opened the door, and then he keeps it coming out of it. I don't know if that's a perk or just traveling through. They didn't say it in the power description, but okay. Look, it's Huntress. You've seen this before, bruh. And you get an aura. Oh, look, that when he hits him, the axe stays in him, so you get like wall hacks for a brief second. Huntress doesn't get that. He just gets wall hacks for a second. Okay, it looks like he has another thing that they don't say that makes him different. Maybe this is how they justify him being 115. Whenever you throw an axe, and it's embedded in them at least, I'll have to see him miss. Look, with the axe embedded in them, his power goes on a cooldown. See how it's on cooldown? He's M1 right now. Huntress would be able to just throw another axe right away. So maybe that's how they're justifying it. Reclaim axe. So you have to like press the so she's broken as long as he lets her stay broken. That's the difference. He doesn't have to do any reloading mechanics. And then he reclaimed the axe. It's like calling back Victor. He reclaimed the axe, and then she's no longer broken. Okay, there you go. Again, sloppy presentation by the company to have it written that way. But now she's no longer broken there. Okay, he missed, and he gets Killer Instinct. I don't know if that's the add-on or in the base kit, and they just didn't tell you. But he gets Aura Reveals on a hit and fucking Killer Instinct on a miss. Again, something I don't care about, but the survivors definitely, I feel like, are going to be bitching about some of these things. Look, it's a Huntress play, bro. You waited Five Nights at Freddy's fans. Come on, bro. You waited 5 years. Oh, you waited over 5 years to play Huntress. Come on, bro. Can you honestly say that's a success? Can you honestly say this is what you wanted? Like, come on. You waited 5 years to play Huntress with doors and no reload. Doors that they can use too. This is what you waited for, bro. One thing I have a question with these doors on, again, maybe we'll see it in this video. Do these doors have an anti-camp feature built on them? It doesn't look like it. Because he's going back to the hook, closest one to the hook. Let's see where he pops out in relation to the hook. No, that's very close. So, okay, it doesn't look like the doors have any anti-camp feature unless I'm missing it. Okay, hits her. So, Huntress would be able to throw another one instantly here. So that's the justification. That's, again, they don't see Huntress, okay, in this position, this is a big difference between the two. In this position, Huntress would be much more of a threat. Much more of a threat because of the fact that she can, like right now, she would be able to start winding up another one and still be more of a threat. Now, granted, it looks like that survivor has overcome. I think that's overcome. That's very quick. And that's very quick for a very long time. I think that's overcome. So I think even Springtrap would be more of a threat. I still think he gets that down because, again, Huntress wants to be doing the basic one, too. that he sets himself up for there even better than she does with quicker movement speed. So the fact that the survivor made that window makes me think she has overcome. I don't know. Do we get to see the builds at the end? Yes, we do. So we'll be able to verify that. The fact that he's 115 though is gonna like is gonna benefit him because some of those situations where Huntress is really bad, like fucking he's like there. See, he is stronger than her there at the dead zone because he is 115. This is the kind of shit you want to be doing. And he's got a 20% haste. Look at it, he got a 20% haste. Is that an add-on? What the fuck is that? That's not in the power description. So wait, did he have 20% haste during the overcome chase too? I didn't even see the whole 20% thing. No, that's the perk. Is that the Wesker perk? When he vaults the window? No, that's not the perk at all. He has 20% haste there. The add-on. It's the add-on. It has to be. Right? Yeah, it's in the corner. He has an add-on that he gets 20% haste after he fucking throws an axe at somebody? That's amazing to me. This haste and hindered stacking, bruh, the effect of that is they just make the values fucking ridiculous to, like, keep it still strong. And that was superior anatomy. Because he kept the 20% haste. So, like, the 20% haste, is that haste? That's haste, right? That is haste. So, like, is superior anatomy a 20% haste bonus now? What the fuck, dude? That's like, what? All 3 stacks of play? That can't be right. Someone please correct me in the comments. I'm so out of touch with this game. Is that a 20% haste bonus on superior anatomy? And the add-on? So he's moving at fucking 135. Right? I don't know. I digress. I'm going to stop mentioning that because I kind of don't know what I'm talking about there. Because, again, I skipped a lot of this shit. So, yeah, please. You guys need to keep helping me out as much as I make these videos still for you. Because that's crazy. Hey, look, there's fucking the other ones. Okay, hit. I want to see a miss. There. Yeah, no bonus on a miss. That add-on's going to be fucking bonkers good. The one he's running. 20% haste on a hit. But he didn't get it there, though. Am I missing something? Now, again, I haven't read the add-ons. And Jax didn't post them, so I'm not going to seek him out. I'm just going to let you guys tell me what that is. Again, I'm not a content creator for this game, bro. I'm not. So I don't get paid to. I don't care. Those 2 ads must be doing a fucking lot for him. He's still out undetectable, unless that's that pyramid head perk. But I don't see a yellow gen. Oh fucking well. Okay. Yeah, there's something happening with a haste bonus. There is. That's interesting as it relates to his perk too. Behavior knows what the fucking problem is with Killer. It's the fucking second half of a chase. When they're established and set up. 20% haste for like 15 seconds after hitting somebody is it with an axe? So you don't have a cooldown anyway? Because it's like that's good. It looks like it's good value with like no cooldown. Because again, why rapid brutality is a bad perk in Dead by Daylight is it's not enough. It's not there long enough, and then 2.7 seconds of its length, you're sitting there in a blade wipe animation. That only beats bad players. My main point here is, like, I'm not seeing him make any, like, weird plays where he's bouncing anything off the walls. It's Huntress, guys! You've seen this before. You've seen this before, bro. That's why I don't even get this title. Springtrap's the most fun I've had in a video game. It's Huntress! What about this is so fun? What about this is so engaging? This is not new content. It's Huntress with the fucking alien It's like Demogorgon. That's what it's. But Demogorgon, you said him yourself. It's like Alien. It's like Alien. That's the closest thing it is. Because Aliens isn't a teleport, but you still got the shit on the map. They're fixed. It's kind of like Dredge, but Dredge has so many more of them. It's Huntress with with movement speed. It's Huntress with the ability to get around the board. I get why that could be cool if you're a Huntress fan, but like, this is what we waited 5 years for? Again, I'm sorry, over 5 years. You waited over 5 years to play Huntress with doors. Is anybody actually praising this content, is my question. Because again, I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch with the community, I'm out of touch with the game. Is anybody actually praising this content? Because I personally think this is ridiculous. Not ridiculous in a bad way. He looks fine. He looks fine in terms of strength. It's just ridiculously unoriginal and uninspired. And again, maybe that has to do with Scott Cawthon giving them so little of a license to work with that there's not much they can do for him. But again, it's also just a dude. It's a dude in a suit. Dude in a suit doesn't give you a lot of leeway to do powers with. That's why, like, something, like, more magical and mythical and fantasy-based is just more equipped to be good at this game. And I say that, but Vecna just got a huge set of buffs for being... But Vecna has the highest kill rate. So I don't know why he has getting a shit ton of buffs. That's not very behavior. Not that Vecna certainly needed the buffs, by the way. Not saying he shouldn't have got them. He certainly needed them. But something like a Dracula or like... Freddy is still wasted potential. I know it's 2010 Freddy, but it's Freddy, bro. You could have did fucking anything. But they had to stick with the confines of that shitty movie. So, again, Pennywise would be a good fit because, like you don't have to be restrained by this whole man in a suit thing. Man in a suit chucks axes at you. He walks through doors. That's all this is. It's not inspired or interesting. This isn't interesting, right? Am I crazy here for not thinking this is interesting? Because this is the most generic trash. That was a good play. It's generic fucking trash. Nice double pallet, Julie. And we're literally back to 2016. Look at that. What is that? And again, that's on the unknown maps too. What is that doing in Dead by Daylight in 2025? What is a double pallet setup like that doing in 2025 in Dead by Daylight? Also, True definitely could have gotten the down there. He just wanted to throw with the axe, I guess. Wait, why'd you get a deep wound? Dead hard. Maybe that was the right play, then, to do the axe. Because if she had dead hard, she might have been able to make it anyway. Get yourself that 20% haste to make up for the fucking awful... well, Superior Anatomy's not giving that haste bonus. It's just the Vault. I'm so dumb, bro. But what's the perk? That's an unknown perk, isn't it? The one that you vault the window and get the haste. That's the unknown perk. I'm so dumb. I'm out of touch, guys. I'm getting my perks mixed up. But Rosie, how can you make content on DVD if you're not even educated on it anymore, man? Rosie 1990X, you shouldn't make content on shit you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Bro, I've been doing this I've been doing this like 6 years. I've been doing this since 2019. I have earned my right to give an opinion on this game. After 6 years of hell dealing with this shit. I have earned retirement from this game, and I have earned the ability to be lazy with this shit. I am just reacting as somebody who doesn't play anymore and wants to play again, honestly. But the game needs to get in a better state first. That's overcome. That has to be. She's so quick, and it goes so long. You get aura reveals on the axe the whole time. Pretty much. Look at that. Oh, let's see the Mori. cute idea for the Mori. The technical limitations just don't get it done. So that's the killer. Not a lot there. Not a lot there, bro. I see the decision to make him 115 based off the differences that are not on, but my overall argument still stands. Huntress should not be a 110 killer. I guess if you made her 110, though, there wouldn't be any reason to play him because she would just be better. Except for the map traversal part. That's his niche over her, is map traversal. And he's 115. And she's 110. But in terms of like a chase, she's kind of more lethal than he is. Except on like those dead zone plays, which are going to be his bread and butter to get quick downs. I don't know. I'd like to read his add-ons at some point too. But anyway. So that's Springtrap. Here are your perks. Help wanted. They hit you with something decent right away here. Listen to it. Check this shit out. When you damage a gen, it becomes compromised. When the compromised gen is completed, your basic attack cooldowns are 25% faster for a minute. 5% for haste. 5% for save is 1 stack. So, and you can't lose stacks on hitting the obsession on this perk. So, I know you can when you throw axes at them now, which is stupid, but this goes, I'll just go on any killer. So, 1 stack is 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, 4, 20. That's 5 stacks to save the best for last for 60 seconds. And they stack. And they stack. Behavior finally figured out that the nerf to save was horrible and unjustified. They finally figured out save was over-nerfed. And they can't just flat out buff it because then they would admit they were wrong. But they're giving it an actual partner. Even the name, Help Wanted, Save the Best for Last is screaming, help me! Help me, god damn it! Help me! I'm good! Help me! I just need help! Ah! So, you want to see what it looks like? Here it is, bro. 8 stacks of save with Help Wanted. Here's what it looks like. And again, save's values got chopped as the ability to lose stacks got chopped. It took a massive nerf that is now unviable. But, ladies and gentlemen, that looks mighty familiar and mighty sexy, is all I want to say. That looks mighty familiar and mighty sexy. This might be a 2-perk combination worth exploring. Because you know what old save did. Anybody who was there and was running 115 killer at the time knows that Save the Best for Last was a meta staple, allowed you to camp. That's another thing this allows you to do, is camp as somebody. If you got this, if they complete a gen and there's like 20 seconds of shit on and you have this with like 7 stacks of save, oh buddy, you can secure some kills and win games with this. That's not a bad perk at all. And that's coming from me, who shits on everything that they do. This is the best killer perk you have gotten in a very long time right here. Now, again, it's not in the game yet. It might take a fat nerf coming to game. Because, again, everybody, I'm sure this guy's a fucking Survivor player right here. Because he's the one testing it. I'm sure he's a Survivor player. Survivors go and make sure all the killer interactions are known immediately. And so, I would not be surprised if Help Wanted takes a nerf to 15% before it gets into the game. And if it does, it's probably going to be worthless trash. But at 25%, 5 stacks of save for 60 seconds, that is very tempting to slap on there with save again. Maybe you do Scourge Hook Eruption or Scourge Hook. I mean, you wouldn't need Deadlock anymore, or right? Because if you're not running Coup, then there's no reason to care about the gens flying really quickly. But I mean, there is still. So maybe you do Deadlock, Scourge Hook, Help Wanted and save, or something. I'm just trying, maybe you run something like that. Again, that's nowhere near as strong as you used to be, but maybe that's worth using, because again, save was meta, guys. So getting save is again, this would be far stronger if they just moved Corrupt Intervention into a base slot, even for 60 seconds on 2 gens. Because then you'd have some early game slowdown as well, so you wouldn't have to. So you'd be able to sacrifice a little slowdown because you get something in the early game. Corrupt needs to be a base mechanic on killer, and it needs to get here soon. That's honestly what they need to do. If you're gonna nerf slowdown so bad, give us Corrupt base. Phantom Fear. When a survivor within your terror radius looks at you, they scream and you see their aura for 2 seconds. You know what this is, guys? People still kind of, I don't know how y'all even feel about this perk, but I've been kind of saying it for a little over a year now. Scene Partner is extremely good. Scene Partner, yes, the Nick Cage perk. Scene Partner is better than Plot Twist. Who saw that coming? Talk about a plot twist. Nick Cage's best perk is Scene Partner. I have seen Scene Partner used more than any other perk he has. Again, Plot Twist being the star there, because Plot Twist is, if Plot Twist goes off, it can fucking just kill your momentum. But in terms of consistency, the best perk that he has is Scene Partner. And the perk is so good they gave it to you as a killer. They gave you Scene Partner, Phantom Fear. When you they look at you, scream, see the aura for 2 seconds. That's Scene Partner. It is countered by distortion, but that's a little worse than it used to be. But they gave you Scene Partner because it's a good perk. The reason that Scene Partner is good, again, Scene Partner does not read like a good perk, but the reason it is good is the fact that the survivors, you don't get a scream bubble. That's why it's good. All you get is a scream that is, I guess it's directional, but like, that doesn't help you very much. Not nearly as much as a bubble would. As Scene Partner is not a fair trade. They get your aura, you get a scream, that doesn't help you. And the fact that they're giving it to you as a killer, this is decent. Is it good? Probably not. Because again, since survivors can afford to run more mid-tier options, the fact that this doesn't stop the gen rush means it's not like great. But the fact that they understand Scene Partner is good and gave it to you as a killer, like, it's going to be at least C tier. Haywire, exit gates, endgame. Endgame, still the best build in Dead by Daylight. Exit gate switches with at least 50% progress regress at a rate of 50%. They gave you ruin on the gates. This is trash. Because here's why that's trash. One, you got enough gate protection. No Way Out is all you need to deal with the gates. The gates being fucking ridiculously fast and quick to open, that's what No Way Out is for. No Way Out is even just subbed in on other perks, just to give you an edge at the end of the game. No Way Out is much better now after its buff, which was a while ago, which was like years ago. But, so, No Way Out deals with the gates. And, in terms of the endgame build, what are you taking out? What you taking out? Can't take out Rancor, that's what giving you the kills. Can't take out Game Afoot, that's what swaps the obsession over. So what are you taking out? Remember Me? Oh, wait, yeah, Remember Me deals with the gates. Yeah, Remember Me. And Remember Me got a buff. Exit gate, so like, you don't need Hex Ruin on a fucking gate that's higher than 50%. This perk is horrible. That is one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. Because not only is it like, it's specific. It's specific. And then again, what the fuck does that even mean? Exit gate switches with at least 50% progress. So once they're at, let's say they 99 it, and then they run away. Because I see the idea. Here's what the idea is there to do. The idea is that you have this, it's permanent, they can't 99 the gates, because they can't 99 the gates and then run over to them while you're chasing them to stop the collapse from starting, right? When you're a survivor, when somebody like gets down at the end of the game, it's very common to 99 the gate so you don't start the collapse to go get the rescue, come back to the gate, and then fucking pull it, and then open it right away, right? Here's the problem. I'm sure there's a visual indicator. Look, while they are regressing, survivors see the exit gate lights flicker randomly. So they're going to see that you have it. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the perk icon pops up in the bottom right-hand corner with how babied this roll is now. And if it doesn't, expect that to be added. So they're going to fucking know you have this. And so as soon as they realize that you have this, which again, I'm sure as soon as you let go of that fucking light, it fucking flickers. I'm sure that's the first thing it does, to tell them immediately that you have this. So, that situation that it's there to stop, you're never going to be in it, because as soon as they see that, they're going to just open the fucking gates and start the collapse. And either just leave if they're in solo queue, to not even bother with the rescue, or if they're swift, if you're playing Leatherface or something, they're just going to immediately leave anyway, right? Because they know you pretty much got somebody. Or Myers, they'll probably leave right away. Billy, leave right away. They'll just leave. So the situations that this is there to stop are completely in the survivor's hands, and as soon as they see you have this, they're just going to open the gate. This perk is worthless. Okay? So, don't tell me, Desi, 1990 X-Men, you just don't know what it's doing. No, I know what it's doing, bro. I know what it's doing. Quality of life, AFK Crow system updates. Although added birds, everybody! Survivors are considered AFK while not interacting within the last 10 seconds. Wow! Although added birds! While AFK, survivors accrue AFK points, during which the crows gradually begin spawning above the survivor, beginning with 1 and capping at 3. AFK points increase more slowly, but they're still increasing while moving or in proximity while in proximity to the killer. But that doesn't mean they don't accrue at all. So if somebody is at 99 before they get a point, and they're still that, they're still just moving in your radius, that's still considered AFK. Interacting means on a gen, on a totem, doing something, right? Walking around, you're considered AFK, as you should be. As you should, Queen, yes! After 90 seconds, the survivor reaches 3 crows and loud noises trigger at regular intervals. Survivor loses collision with other players for 10 seconds. So, no body blocking, but no, they can't body block. They cannot body block. They cannot body block, is what that means. But that's never going to be happening. Complete interactions removes AFK points. Crows are removed as AFK points decrease. This system is disabled when hatch spawns or when the endgame collapses triggered by any means. So you can still body block at the end of the game. But the fucking shit this is there to stop. Let me remind you of what this is there to stop. Go fucking watch that fucking video I posted with the fucking me saying, Alma, where are the birds? Just yelling really loud. This was years ago. This was 2020, 2019, 2021. It's Prime Rosie. This was Prime Rosie, maybe it's even slightly before Prime Rosie. Prime Rosie was 2020 to 2022. Prime Rosie. 2020 to 2022. Maybe early 2023 as well. Prime Rosie. I was adding my prime in that shit. Yelling about that. Alma, where are the birds? Where the fuck are they? I was just teleporting with the Demogorgon for 10 minutes going, Alma, where are the birds? Where are they? That was a fun match. I remember that. It's fun to reflect on. It wasn't fun being there. And then there was that one match. Do you remember that other match I had with Hillbilly? Where I sat at the hatch? Does anybody remember this shit? If you're real OGs of the channel, you remember this shit. That fucking match where they had a key. Do you remember this? They had a key. And I don't play Billy, and this was before Billy was ever changed to be a lot different. This was old Billy. This was this was pre-overheat. So that's how long ago this was. It was a Grim Pantry, and I wanted to win because god damn it, I played a good Billy match, and I don't play Billy. So I was god damn it, I want the fucking win here. I played well, I earned it, I deserve it. You sucked. You don't get to just walk out with a fucking key. But there were 2 left. There was 1 gen left. They were a pretty decent team. And so I sat at that small house at Grim Pantry, you know the one. That smaller cabin, not the main one, the smaller one. The hatch was spawned in that basement area. I sat there 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Just waiting for them to discover that's where the hatch was and try to do an interaction to where I let the one guy with the key actually get out and then shut the hatch and kill the other guy, which is what I did, and I won that game. But the fact that the key was in there ruining that game was one completely ridiculous at the time. I can't believe the key stayed in the game for so fucking long. And then 2, if they had this AFK system and they were just halfway across the map, I could have ended that game within 2 minutes because if they were over there and I knew that there was no way that they could have possibly found the hatch because they had birds, I could have fucking did something and went over there and got them, right? Blood-wed spreading improvements. Auto blood-wed button after prestiging any one character for the first. I thought they already had this. Enabling players to automatically progress to a selected character level. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying. Neat. Disconnection penalties are now based on the last 20 matches played. Each disconnect counts as a disconnection penalty point. Decrease as you play matches while disconnecting. Previously decayed at a rate of 1 point per day. Oh. Okay. Going next prevention. Uh-oh. This is a modern problem. Okay, it's a modern quote-unquote problem. It's been happening for years. I've called it out for years. Added a system to detect survivors who intentionally die early in a match. When a survivor is determined to be doing this, they receive a disconnection penalty and lose a full grade. Nice. The attempt unhook ability, and this is the best part, the attempt unhook ability is now only available in the following circumstances. 2 survivors led to the trial. Survivor's luck is increased with offering, slippery meat, or up the ante perk. So the luck offerings allow you to Kobe. But they deleted Kobeing! Look at that, bro! Kobeing is gone! So, like, they have to bring an offering to even be allowed to Kobe. But isn't there offerings that increase luck for all survivors? So you'll definitely see you will definitely see Swifts bringing in luck stuff. They deleted Kobeing, but they didn't really delete it. But again, I suspect that because the blood point offerings are what everybody likes to run, right? So you're never going to even really see those luck offerings get brought unless it's like a 4-man Swift with 3 cakes. And then one guy throws on that to Kobe. But again, it's not even really worth it. Is the 3 Kobe attempts worth the loss of like 200k blood points? Right? Is it worth the loss of like 130k blood points? That's what you'll have to wrestle with if you're a survivor. But Kobeing is gone! Cool! Should have been deleted fucking 5 years ago! A mechanic that is so fucking stupid, so fucking dumb, and has robbed so many killers of kills. And wins. For no reason. And again, they say it was 4%. I ain't even sure if I believe that. Feels like people were Kobeing on me all the fucking time. Feels like it happened to me all the fucking time. At least, it feels like every time I booted the game up, I would get Kobe'd on at least once in a stream. And again, I wasn't playing that much, like 2-3 hours. I honestly think the Kobe percentage was shadow buffed and we didn't even know about it. I feel like that shit went up to 10% or something. I really do. Because I just feel like the amount of times that I've been Kobe'd on, if it was truly 4%, wouldn't have happened. That number went up to 10%. I don't care what anybody says. It was shadow buffed. But there you go. And then, letting the first 2 struggles on skill checks will no longer instantly kill you. So they are dedicated to forcing survivors to play. And good. But like, here's the thing. Here's something else you have to consider. This is because the game, when the killer is winning, is too long. Because here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. When the killer goes over here, let's pretend you're playing against the Blight. Okay? The Blight, or pre-patch Ken, if you want to take it to modern 2025, let's pretend you're playing pre-patch Ken. Okay? Pre-patch Ken goes over here, kills this guy, downs him, hooks him. Oh, I don't want to tunnel, so now I'm going to come over here, get this guy, down him in 10 seconds, put him on the hook. Don't want to tunnel, I'm going to go over here, get this guy, kill him, pop, throw him on your hook. Wow. I got 3 hook stages on 3 people. Wow. I've barely advanced my fucking win condition and there are 2 gens done. The most efficient way for a killer to kill somebody in this game is tunneling. And you know what? That's the way that ends matches the fucking fastest. Identity 5's average match time is like 10 to 11 minutes. When the survivors are winning, it's like 5 minutes. And then when the killer wins, it's like 8 to 11. Dead by Daylight, if you are playing the way the game wants you to, which is not tunneling, these games can last 16 to fucking 25 minutes. These matches can last a long fucking time when the killer is winning. Because killer's weak. If you play like that. If you tunnel something, again, if you're an avid tunneler, what I said about Identity 5 should be like, When I win, my tell all my matches are about 10 to 15 minutes. A particularly long match of Identity 5 can go, like, if it's really long and the killer's starting to slug, like, a particularly long Identity 5 match can go up to around 18 to 23 minutes. A very, very long one. That's rare, though. That is extremely rare. And Dead by Daylight, 18 to 25-minute matches are commonplace if the killer's winning and not tunneling. If the killer's tunneling, you can shrink that down to 10 to 15 minutes. The most efficient way for a killer to play this game is to tunnel. The disadvantaged state of the game is not fun. When you are, this is an inherent problem with the game. That everybody likes to talk about the game's fun factor. Let me tell you why the game is not fun. But everybody talks about this. When you are the side that is losing, the game is awful. That's the fact. That's just the reality of the situation. When you are the side that is losing, the game is terrible. When you are a survivor that have no hope of wanting to of beating the killer you're playing against, Ken, Blight, but the killer is also so weak that they can't just tunnel you out, which again, or condition, like they'll feel bad if they tunnel you out, etc., etc. If they opt not to tunnel, you are stuck in an even worse situation ever. That's why I kill weak links. It's a mercy kill. Get them the fuck out. Let them go on to the next match. They don't need to be here. The fact that you sit there and artificially inflate the amount of time a match is taking just to, like, quote unquote, let them have more fun is ridiculous. Get them out of the game. Let them leave. That's why tunneling is the most non-toxic way to play Dead by Daylight. Trapping somebody, I've said this for years, trapping survivors in a match with you for over 20 minutes when the outcome is hopeless is the worst thing ever. That's why they quit. That's why they leave. They would rather just die and move on to the next game. So the fact that we promote as a community the style of game that is slow and inefficient on the killer side hurts the survivors too. That's why you see this. They want to just get the fuck out of the match as much as the next guy. But they can't because the killer's conditioned to do weak things. The going next epidemic would be less bad if you allowed the killer to tunnel. And to tunnel efficiently and get them out. But right now they still have to worry about like things like dead hard and like shit like that, right? If they don't tunnel. If you give the killer a 4v1 power boost, that might help too. But like the go next epidemic is there because disadvantaged state isn't fun. And that's inherent. There's nothing you can do to fix that. The best thing you could do to fix that would be let the killer end the match as quick as possible, so promote tunneling. Don't fucking punish it. That's what Identity 5 does, because Identity 5 understands that these matches shouldn't be 25 minutes long. The game is good in short bursts. Short bursts. Give me a short, quick, fun match. Move on to the next short, quick, fun match. And if the match isn't so fun, at least it's short and quick. These long, drawn-out games suck. And that only happens when the killer is winning. Because they make the killer weak. Am I crazy, or is that the only one? Does that make sense to anybody else? Let the killer go in, get the weak links out of the match, end the fucking match as quick as possible so everybody can move on to a better match when the system gives you one that shouldn't be happening. Because again, it does that. Mori update. Near the end of the trial, the killer can now activate a Mori when at least 2 survivors are alive. Up from 1. 1 survivor must be alive, healthy, injured, or dying. 1 or so survivor must be hooked or on struggle phase. And on struggle phase. So, you can just fucking Mori somebody when the other person's... Again, you still have to win the game. It doesn't change anything. It's not a buff. That's not a buff. It's just an update. That's the right word. Offerings. All realm/map now grant a flat 20% chance to be associated to the realm/map of your choosing. Most gameplay altering offerings are now treated as a secret during the loading overall screen. Duplicate realm and map offerings no longer stack. So there you go, guys. They killed map offerings. That's a bad change. This is something I think we actually disagree about in my server. A lot of the comments I've been seeing from y'all wanted map offerings to go away. Why? Why? Why did you want that to go away? Why did you want that to go away so bad? Yes, when the survivors pop Gideon Meat Plant on you, they only have a 20% chance of going to Gideon Meat Plant. Yes, but you can't pick the maps anymore. And that's worse. That's worse inherently because Let me tell you something, everybody. If you drop into any map in Dead by Daylight, if you just say, I'm going to go with what the system gives me, plop in, see what they do, you have a better chance of playing on garbage than not. You have a better chance of playing on shit. I don't want to fucking play on RCPD. I don't want to play on Gideon Meat Plant. I don't want to play on Eerie of Shit. I don't want to play on the Dredges map, the fucking Garden of Ass. Don't want to play at those maps. They're not fair. I don't want to play at Bad Ham Preschool. When the 3 times I boot this game up a month, I want to go to the maps I want. I want to go to Autohaven. I want to go to fucking McMillan. I want to go to the maps that I feel are decent. And even then, within the realms of those maps, there are still some that are bad. But I want to go to the maps that I enjoy playing on. The 2 to 3 times I play this game. Because if I go on Gideon Meat Plant, I'm going to have a miserable fucking time. And yes, Gideon Meat Plant is one, but I want to go to Haddonfield. I see so many of you killers blowing Haddonfield. Why? Haddonfield has like infinite fucking loops on the windows. Those windows are still bad. Those houses are still bad. But the middle, Rosie, the middle can sometimes spawn with cars. Yes, sometimes it doesn't. Is Haddonfield as bad as it used to be? No. Do I want to play at Haddonfield? Also no. It's got House of Pain. How could it be a bad map? It's got House of Pain. No, so how could it be a good map for Killer? How could it not be a bad map? It has House of Pain. It's too big. It's got verticality. A lot of stuff killers don't like there. Closed off indoor portions aren't great either. I don't understand why so many of you like that map. I don't get it. But the overall, the offerings going away is a bad change. I said it. I don't give a shit. Yes, when the survivors bring you an offering, and again, with the DC penalties now being based off the last 20 matches or whatever the fuck, I'm curious to see how that changes. Because again, there's some maps I won't play on. That Dungeons and Dragons map, instant disconnection every time. I never play there. Gideon Meat Plant is a terrible map, but that Dungeons and Dragons map is the definition of unplayable. No. That Halloween event with the teleporters was so bad, and they made that a base mechanic on the map. No. I absolutely 100% refuse to fucking interact with that mechanic. I see that fucking Vecna map, I get rid of it. And it's a shame because the Knights map is actually grown on me. The Knights map grew on me, and I actually kind of liked it. But I'm never bringing that offering again because, we can go to the Vecna map. And if I go to that Dungeons & Dragons map, insta-DC. Never going there. Making the players unable to play at the maps they want is overall a bad change for Dead by Daylight. When you take everything into account, it is a bad change for the game. You will play more matches at Resident Evil Raccoon City Garbage Police Department. You will play more games at the fucking Vecna map. You will play more games at maps that are bad for you and you don't want to be on. It means less matches at Dead Dog Saloon. It means less matches at fucking the Stranger Things map. It means less matches at Midwich. It means less matches at the maps you like. It means less matches where you're having fun. It means more matches on fucking Mother's Dwelling. It means more matches on the farm maps. It means more matches at the bad maps you don't want to be on. Why are people celebrating this? Why are people celebrating this? I don't understand. Spectator mode. Increase spectator slots to 5. Hotkeys have been assigned to make changing between people easier. Yeah. Apparently there was something in spectator mode where they're considering a fixed mechanic to help cop out. That would be strange. I'd love to see that. Love to see how they try to get rid of the map RNG in spectator mode. That's going to be funny to watch this company crash and burn at that. Here are the killer buffs. Let's run through these real quick here. Artist. Changes. Let's just go changes. Automatic drawing, it reduces flight time by 1.75. Okay. Was 1.5. Okay. Buff. Survivor Swarm suffered 10% hindered, was 15. That's a nerf? Was 15%. Yeah, it's a nerf. So that was nerf. Baby Shoes reveals auras of survivors within 4 was 5. Nerf. Ink Egg reduces time before disintegrate by 1 was 2. Let me read that. Hold on, what? Now reduces the time before they disintegrate by 1 second. I don't even know what that means. And I played her a little bit more, too. Severed Hands, I know that one. 2 meters of a Swarm Crow to become Swarm 2 was 3. Okay. Yeah, overall, a bunch of nothing changes. No longer reduces the number of summonable dire crows. Ooh, okay, that's a buff. Some buffs there. Looks like some nerfs, too. Nothing overall. Here's the big update. Vecna. Vecna got a lot. Vecna spells are now available at the start of the trial with 15 seconds starting cooldown. Thank fucking God. Because it was so stupid. Because you're sitting there, the first thing you're doing with Vecna is you load in the match, you just wait for Dispelling Spear to get off cooldown, and so you can throw it. Now the character can load in, and the first thing he can do is shoot out a Dispelling Spear. That's the first thing he can do. Thank fucking God. Because it's the biggest, that is one of the biggest quality of life changes you can give that killer. Fucking Dispelling Spear one direction, fly another. The very first thing you do is pop Dispelling Spear and fly right away. Good. You don't have to wait 15 seconds to start playing the game. It's like you might as well be AFK. Vecna might as well have started the game AFK for 15 seconds. Seriously. Like, what? You're moving for 15 seconds, sure, but that doesn't really do anything. That doesn't really do it, unless you spawn right next to him and find him in 10 seconds. That first 15 seconds of the game can give you actual value if you're shooting out Dispelling Spears and flying. And again, that could get, the first 15 seconds, he's going to have some of the strongest opening 15 seconds out of any killer now. Instead of averaging on par with everybody. Decreased fly cooldown to 20 seconds was 25. Decreased Dispelling Spear cooldown to 30 was 35. Decreased Mage Hand cooldown to 35 was 40. Decreased Blight of the Damned cooldown to 30 was 35. Every one of his fucking spells got a cooldown reduction. Remove the interaction time locking the killer's camera while activating Dispelling Spear. So, Dispelling Spear, whenever you used it, it would jolt your camera. I guess it's not going to do that anymore. Honestly, all of Vecna's spells could have gotten bigger cooldown reductions than they got. They could have doubled all those, honestly. Except for Fly. Fly didn't really need any changes, honestly, in terms of cooldown. Mage Hand could have gone down to 30 seconds. Fly of the Damned could have gone to 25. These all could have gotten bigger cooldown reductions, but the fact you're getting something is at least neat. Updating Dispelling Spear's projectile to move more quickly at first and then slow over 3 seconds in order to spend less time revealing the area immediately in front of the killer. Right. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. I don't know. It gets to is it overall getting to where it's trying to go faster is my question, because it slows down. But I guess it will slow to the speed it's already at. So yeah, it'll overall get to its target faster, which is nice. Gives you more knowledge more quickly. Increase the end interaction time of fly to 2.75 to 2.5. Increase duration of fly to 5 seconds was 4. So it looks like they buffed fly's duration, but they nerfed the part where you come out of it. Like the stuff I like to do is what they nerfed, of course. They nerfed the one thing I like on this character. But if you run that cooldown on it, it'll probably be roughly the same. But I don't know. They might have killed Fly's chase potential, but we'll see. He's getting stronger on other things. Fixed the bug that made the survivor palette interaction delay with Mage Hand. Okay. Buffs. Increase the duration of haste to 4 seconds for his cyber. So they got a little something too. This is a buff overall. It's probably not going to help him very much, but it's something. He got a decent little update here. Oh, wait, there's more. These are the add-ons. Power up. Oh, okay. You get another 0.2 sec buff. Okay. Buff. The potion of speed now decreases the period where you cannot attack after fly. So yeah, the shit I like to do is nerfed. The using fly in a chase was nerfed. The one thing I liked to do on the character is nerfed. Great. I guess that tactic caught on. So they nerfed fly and buffed everything else. is what it looks like. Victor can now start chases. Neat. Call of Brine. Check it out. Increased duration of 70. Increased generator progression to 130, 140, 150. That's Ruin 2! That's Ruin 2, everybody! They gave you Ruin 2! That might be usable again! Would you look at that? I've never been so happy to read something, bro. Increased Call of Brine progression and duration. 10 seconds, 150%. They're giving you Ruin 2 back on Call of Brine. That could be usable, ladies and gentlemen. They're giving you Ruin 2. Because right now, Call of Brine is fucking trash. Maybe you nerfed regression a little too fucking hard. And, okay, are we cooking now? Here's your assignment, chat. Here's your assignment comment section. Fucking go to the comments and tell me what that stacks with overcharge. Because if that gets you like, if that stacking with overcharge gets you to like 175, ladies and gentlemen, that's worth it. With how strong Old Ruin was, that's worth it. You could do Call of Brine, overcharge, Pain Rezo. Because again, then you don't need the distance procs as much anymore. And then maybe you could do Surge if you're trying to do full slowdown or Eruption. But again, Call of Brine, maybe you don't want Eruption. Maybe you'll take Surge instead to kind of conserve regression events just a little bit if each one is more powerful again. I don't know. The question with that is that bonus regression going to be better than the distance procs? Because as much as the distance procs are really good right now in terms of the regression. They're the best stuff you have in the game. They're the best stuff they have in the game. I wish Oppression applied Call of Brine. That would, like, give it that buff to where Oppression applied it, and we'd be sitting pretty with a decent little slowdown option. But I am so thankful that a perk that Patrick added to the game is getting its fair justice. It's getting some buffs. It's been bad for years. Ever since they deleted the Patrick version of 200%, it's been terrible. Now again, it's Ruin 2. It's not Ruin 3. It's not 200%. Well, wait. Did Ruin used to be 150? Or did Ruin 1 used to be 150? I thought it was 100, 150, 200. Or was it 150, 175, 200? I thought it was 100 at Tier 1, 150 at Tier 2, and 200 at Tier 3. Let's check. Let's make sure I'm saying my shit here. No, yeah, it was 100, 150 to 200. You're getting Ruin 2 back. You are getting Ruin 2 back with that. That's the most interesting thing you're reading, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting. Dueling Tremors, reduce cooldown to 30 seconds. It shouldn't have a cooldown. Superior Anatomy, increase the area of detection to 12 meters was 8. Decrease the cooldown 25 was 30. Neat. Okay, that's the vault. That's that part we were getting confused with the other one earlier in the video. Still gonna be shit. Dark Devotion. Increase the duration of the terror radius transfer to 45 seconds. Increase the size of the transfer terror radius to 40 up from 32. Sexy. Neat. I wish that wasn't an obsession perk. That perk should have a cooldown. 45 seconds with a 30 to if you wanted to do 45 to a minute, I wouldn't love it, but I wish that wasn't an obsession perk. Hex Retribution, increased oblivious, who cares, trash. Machine Learning, decreased haste value to 8 was 10, but you did get a increase of the duration. So they took 2%, but then they gave you 20 more seconds. Is it worth it? Maybe, but again, I don't think so. Updated description, increased broken duration, Terminus is still bad. Thwack, increased reveal to 36, still bad. Botany Knowledge, healing item efficiency reduction removed. Champion of Light, decreased the cooldown to 40. Light-footed, decreased cooldown to 10. Desperate Measures, increased scaling bonus. I don't know why you buffed that. That's actually pretty good. Exaltation, increased the item recharge amount for stunning the killer. Counterforce, increased the bonus totem, cleansing to 25 was 20. Increase the first its totem aura reveal. Empathetic connection. Injured survivors now see the aura of the survivor with trash. Oh, updated to 35%. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay. That's what we got here. Kind of a meatier patch than I was thinking when I came on to film this. I did not anticipate this was going to be this long. But there you go. That's my thoughts on everything, lads. Springtrap is uninspired, Huntress ripoff clone garbage. I guess he has some differences with angles or maybe add-ons that make it bounce. I don't know where I got that bounce off the walls thing. I guess it was from a few clips I've seen that just made me think it was doing that. But overall, Springtrap is uninspired, Huntress ripoff. Call of Brine, I'm excited to fucking be buffed, and that save stuff might be worth it. So overall, you're getting a little bit more than I actually thought here. Overall, this is still a bad chapter. Let's not kid each other. This is a bad chapter. But overall, some of the stuff they're doing is a little bit interesting. This is certainly the best patch you've gotten for Killer in a while. I will certainly say that. This isn't nothing but nerfs. That's an upgrade. When you get slammed with nerfs for like 8 months, reading something that's like almost decent is like incredible. Reading something almost decent is like incredible. But last thing, lads, is because I just finished my novella, I'm going to be streaming, and I'll probably be streaming soon. I'm probably going to take a break, eat a little lunch, because this was way longer than I thought it was going to be. But I'm probably going to eat a little lunch, and then I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on for a little bit today. So, well, I'll see you guys on the stream, but I'm going to get the hell out of here for right now. GG's.